everybody, and welcome back to Pulsechain Sacrifice Party Time. Really, it's going to be an awesome time watching this. Obviously, it's gone over 200 million US dollars. It really is just climbing, and we're just over 2 days, right? So 2 days and 5 hours, and it's still climbing. Pretty epic. I think there's a really good results. They're pretty much on target with what I indicated a couple of weeks ago. So pretty awesome stuff. I'm pretty excited about this. And yeah, onwards and upwards for sure. The Ethereum is obviously smashing that old Bitcoin sacrifice, but we could see some big Bitcoin sacrifices coming up. I think the biggest one's been about 1.8 million that I know of for the Bitcoin one, but pretty amazing. Hey, Gertz, good to see you in the chat there. We've got Gertz in the chat. Good to see you. And yeah, this is going to be a bit of a this is my third sacrifice hangout session. So welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, hit the bell, of course, for future videos, and also share if you can. Also consider joining the membership of this channel. It's growing pretty fast, and so check out those membership options there. All right, let's quickly get into it. So we got Mike Bark in the house. Hello, good to see you. And yeah, the only thing I'd say is this is all about Pulsechain, so we'll keep it to Pulsechain topic, and that's the way we're going to roll today. So hope you guys enjoy say the next hour. Now let's quickly, we're on obviously the Pulsechain site here at the moment, and we're going to quickly check out the balances at the moment as well in the sacrifice. But don't forget, in the Pulsechain, there are the Pulsechain one under Ethereum is the official address is OX9C 62CB, and you can see under here now they've actually added Binance Smart Chain. It actually uses the same Ethereum address, so you can actually switch it over to Binance Smart Chain. You see it's got the same. It's got that one there, sorry, and you can copy that address for the Binance Smart Chain, OX9C. So actually, this different on there. Oh no, it's a similar one there. So yeah, OX9C and 62CB, and of course there's Polygon Matic now has been added too, and it's using the same one as well. Obviously, just different networks, so just take that into account. So pretty nice in there. Otherwise, everything else is the same. You got Bitcoin Smart Cash. So if you had Bitcoin, you've got obviously you get a unique address that you can do. This is just a demo account, so you can see you actually issue a unique address to yourself. So take that into account and make sure you read all the details as well. Obviously, there's what else we got? We got Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Monero, Ripple, and Zcash. Those are the sacrificeable coins. Not really worth sending anything else there. So that's a bit of update for that. All right, so I hope you guys are enjoying that for sure. Gert says, do I get any Pulsechain free airdrops if I have Hex staked? I asked this a few days ago, but missed the answer. Had to leave the chat that time. So there's no Pulse airdrops to Hex people. There's no special treatment for Hex holders who've got Hex stakes or Hex liquid. Now, pretty much there may be potentially other airdrops for Pulse holders, people that enter the sacrifice phase. They may get other airdrops, but nothing is guaranteed. You're supposed to expect nothing, right? So that's the case. So a bit of a smile there from, is it a smile? Yeah. Or a sad face. A bit of a sad face from Gertz on that one. That's all right. Hey, that's all right. Pleasure. So there's no special treatment, but the special treatment, Gertz, is that any Hex that's sacrificed will not end up being sold on the market, hypothetically speaking, Richard says, because he can't say things for certain about that. But let's say the sacrifice address doesn't sell any of that Hex that it gets sacrificed, and that's a big deal, because that reduces, let's say we started off with 5% liquid Hex supply, that reduces it down even further, making Hex more scarce. Obviously, there's Hex coming out of the stakers, and some of them may sell some of that, maybe just for income, rather than sell down their whole bags over time. So there's that in place, but in the meantime, the scarcity is getting smaller and the demand's going up. So it's in the holy grail, the Goldilocks zone at the moment, and the sacrifice phase just helps to get less and less Hex on the market. Pretty awesome stuff there. All right, so that's pretty much that. Let's quickly go here. We've got the balances. I'm just going to refresh too. We might actually hit over 200 million while we're doing this. So okay, the price of the market prices are changing around quite a bit, and so that's what's going to happen. Obviously, we've got Hex is the dominant one, but at the moment we've got we've got 243 ETH in there, 454,000. Now there's quite a bit of ETH actually been taken out of this account. It may have gone into US dollars, which may be in here. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't been following the transactions, but it may be being converted into US dollars since ETH is sort of weak and bearish and dropping. So We checked it out. So we've got, let's check the Hex at the moment. So the Hex balance is at 800, a whopping 863,833,288 Hex is sacrificed already. And as we can see, that's within about two days and 5 hours. So amazing result in my view. And it's $148.4 million. So it's almost up at 150 million US dollars, or 70, almost close to 80,000 ETH. So amazing stuff there. And let's quickly check out some of the recent sacrifices. Just 21 seconds ago, 36,800. Just look through some here. You got 55,000 about 2 minutes ago. So lots of stuff just flowing through non-stop. The stuff's flowing through. Look at it, 2 minutes, heaps in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Just sacrifices just coming thick and fast all day long. It's amazing. Honestly, it's amazing. And what's this going to end up being? So it just keeps going, folks, on and on and on. There's 4 minutes ago. You can just see the huge numbers just keep flowing in. So pretty impressive stuff there. And yeah, just keeps going and going and going. So you can see 5 million there. Look at that. That's a pretty big one. 5 million Hex there transferred. So lots of stuff going in there, and gives you a good idea of what that is. So pretty amazing stuff. Now you can find the links to this in the video description as well. Okay, and then we've got Michael in there. Michael, how's he going? You can check Pulse Lead XYZ to check leaderboard for ETH and ERC20 sacrifices. Someone from the community built it yesterday. Yeah, I used that earlier today, Michael. I used it earlier today, but it is based on daily snapshots, so it's actually not as accurate as using the Ethereum blockchain. I hope that helps there. So the Ethereum, this one here is based on market prices, and that one's based on daily ones, whereas the actual sacrifice is going to be based on the time-weighted average price. So actually, it's probably just better to use the Ethereum link there. But thanks for the heads up on that, Michael. But yeah, if you see my previous video earlier this morning, we already covered that one. So yeah, I'll definitely pull up Pulse Lead as well, just so you can see what that's saying. But that's the case. All right. So this is the one you're talking about, Michael, postlead.xyz, and you can see it's got 162,000 there, but that's got daily snapshots on it, so it's actually understating the values at the moment. So pretty cool. But you can actually see what's accurate is these top snapshots here are fairly accurate. So you got the biggest sacrifices, 11 million, and then 5 million, 4 million. So you got a couple there. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people have sacrificed over $1 million. That's up 1 from this morning. So this morning we had 7. Now it's up 1. So that's really quite cool. So thanks for Michael. That's probably a good insight from that one. And we've got a couple there pretty high up there, close to $1 million. And this is only day 2. We just finished day 2. So it's 19 days, remember? So 19 days. And so this is only day 2 just finished. And let's see how many millionaire sacrifices we have by the end of the 19 days. Is it going to be 100 or more? Well, let's find out. So far, we're up to 8 after 2 days. I think quite a lot of people are holding off as well at the moment, so that's going to be interesting. Michael says, thanks for the clarifications. You're most welcome. And no sound? No sound. Really? Let's have a check there. The sound seems to be working, Michael. I just test myself. It's back, says Gertz. Okay, cool. Not sure why it cut out there, Gertz, but thanks for the heads up in case sound was off. But I'm pretty sure I've got enough battery in the headphones and nothing else is going on there. So pretty nice. Right, so that's some of the stuff that's happening there on that. So let's go back to the actual total balance. So 863 million. We're heading towards 1 billion Hex staked. Sacrificed, I should say, not staked, sacrificed. So pretty awesome stuff. Now we've also got 29,000 US dollars, and we've got in USDC, we've got another 13.4 million in DAI stable, and then another 4.6 million in Tether, and then you've got a few other, you've got the smaller ones just following through there. So we already see that pretty much Hex and the USDC stable coins are dominating the sacrifice. People are wanting certainty around their sacrifice, and obviously the Hex is based on the market price. So that actually, to me, that's going to put more upward price pressure on Hex over the next couple of days. In my view, it's going to be not investment advice, do you own due diligence, but definitely Hex is dominating there. Now there has been Bitcoin as well. I understand it's about 10 million or something like that. I actually haven't got the wallet exposure to that, but I'll give you an update on that once I find out. So that's it there at the moment. And like I said, there has been a lot, quite a few thousand ETH put in there, but I think it's possibly been converted to stable coins or moved to another address. So we'll see that could be added to this US dollar here, USDC. You can actually check by going in there, but I haven't done that, so I'm not going to talk about that. All right, so that's where we're at the moment on that. We've also looked at Pulse Lead, which has the daily snapshots there. Now, apparently the developer Pulse Lead would do a better, like a more updated version if he could get funded to do it, to do the time. So that was something that was in place there. So pretty cool on that. But hey, you know, nice when anybody in the community decides to do something, right? You got donations appreciated. This is the donation address for the developer. So if you want to help them, you know, give a more real-time dashboard, then that's the case. All right, so let's have a quick look at the total amount sacrificed, and this is a really interesting number. If we think that only 5% is liquid, and it's going to be, some of that's going to get sacrificed, and makes Hex more scarce, not only on the ETH chain, but when it gets copied over to the Pulse chain, because the sacrifice address will own the Hex that's sacrificed, and it won't sell it theoretically. Then we're currently at 0.136% sacrificed, and we're not far away from 1 billion sacrificed. So pretty awesome stuff. And if we look on there, this is going to show up on this chart eventually. Once it gets, probably maybe once it gets to 1 billion or 1%, one of those two is going to start showing up on this pie chart. But 0.136% sacrificed. We've got this green part here sacrificed. Amazing stuff. So will that get to 1%? Because obviously that's just over 0.1%, right? So will that get to 1% or 2%? And so will the 5% liquid start squeezing down into the market 3%? That makes it really scarce. Obviously, the only real Hex that could come then from is you know, obviously in the Uniswap, it's that liquid starting to squeeze down. So it's going to be pretty amazing. And obviously, most of the inflation is to stakers, and they're pretty, you know, the culture in Hex is pretty hardcore staking and deferred gratification. So we do, from time to time, we do get some OGs and other bigger accounts selling some Hex down from time to time, but it's actually it's been pretty solid state there. So pretty cool on that one. So all right, let's go back into, I'm just going to pull up this. I've got the wrong setup on that. Cool. All right, that's looking better. So that's where we're at the moment. So what else we've got? I noticed that the amount in Uniswap is obviously, the higher the price goes, the more that Hex that gets bought, and particularly sacrificed, the less in the liquidity pool. So I'm pretty sure 2 days ago this was sitting at around about 62 million Hex in the version 2, and it's now 44. We could probably check that on the Uniswap pool thing, so you might want to go check that out too. I might check that out myself. I'm pretty sure that's gone down dramatically, which obviously goes hand in hand when people are buying Hex. There's less Hex and more USDC or more ETH in the case. So you can see both the USDC pools are the dominant one. Version 2 of Uniswap is the most dominant. It's got 44 million Hex left in it, and the other one's got 12 million Hex left in it in version 3. Which is the latest version of Uniswap. Then we have version 2's got ETH 8 million left in that one, and version 3 ETH is only got 3 million in it. So not a lot really. It's going to be interesting to see over the next couple of days how much more buying there will be on the good old Hex, and we're going to check that out now. First, let's jump over to Nomics, and we can see that Hex is sitting at 17. Just went over 18 cents just before, and the market cap's over 101 billion. It's amazing. 85 million hourly volume there. Sorry, 24-hour volume. And you can see, look at Ethereum above there. Almost, if the price doubles from here, and ETH stays the same, you're almost looking at flipping Hex. You're almost, flipping Ethereum. You're not far away. So 217 versus 101. Obviously, it's quite a bit of distance, but it's not really that far. Just another 2x, really, isn't it? Another 2x in price. And obviously, Hex has done, was it 7 or 8 2x's? So pretty amazing stuff there. So that's something that would create some pretty big excitement in the marketplace. Surely that's going to cause, you know, for a worse pun, a ripple in the market there as well. So Hex looking super strong, and obviously people are sacrificing that big time, as we can see here. Let's go back into that and see what we're up to at the moment. And boom. So yeah, we're at 865. We need 135 million, and then we're at 1 billion Hex sacrifice. Really amazing numbers. And yeah, that once the price updates again, that will be going up as well. So pretty interesting stuff there. Let's also go to the Hex price at the moment. So you can see that the Hex price just had a big green candle. Let's go full screen. This is the hourly candle. We'll get rid of all the other indicators, and you can see, look at that, folks. This is, we've a couple of times we've tried to break out of this 18 cents now. People were talking about it having reached over 20 cents, 21 cents. I can't see that in this chart, and I've been trying to find the charts, but they have that. I haven't been able to see that, so I'm not sure what exchanges they're talking about that on. It must be a different exchange, but definitely on Uniswap, it's it's not the case. We've been trying to pretty much get out of this 18 cents mark. We've had a few little spikes. 19.3 cents is on this one. Is the highest one that I've seen. So I'm not quite sure what the other's talking about. There's one, I think it's Gerardo. It does charting analysis for Hex. So we'll see. I'll go and watch this video and see where he got that number from as well. I noticed that Richard Hart used it in this video earlier today. So if you want to check out Richard Hart's latest video, he did one a couple of hours ago. Go check that out as well on YouTube. Just go to Richard Hart on YouTube and you can find his latest live stream. He's got quite a few good insights onto that one too, and he's had a good sleep, so he's up with that as well. All right, so this has been a first attempt at 18 pretty much, and then second attempt at 18, and now we've got a third attempt at 18. We've still got quite a good support structure here, and it's quite a bit of upward momentum, and we just had a huge green candle in the last hour. We've just flicked over into the next hour. Obviously we're 20 minutes into it, and this looks interesting. Are we going to get a big breakout, a proper breakout over the 18 cents, up over the 20 cents? That's going to be pretty huge, and the next couple of hours could be pretty telling, or we might just travel sideways again. But I have a feeling we might really have a good chance at attacking that 20 cents. Obviously, the higher the price, the bigger the snapshot every half an hour value that you sacrifice your Hex, and it's that sort of average price in that period determines your US dollar sacrifice amount, and that ranks you up higher on the volume multiplier. If we come back to the volume multiplier down here, obviously the first 5 days is better for not getting penalty, but we come to the volume multiplier, then you somewhere between 1 and 2.5, the higher US dollar amount, then the bigger that is. So if you're doing stable coin, it doesn't matter, you can sacrifice any time. But if you've got a non-stable coin, particularly Hex, then the higher the price, the bigger the sacrifice, and the bigger that you'll be up that multiplier curve, and get a bigger multiplier factor on your base volume that you have in your when you sacrifice. So pretty big on that. Let's quickly go into chat here. I've got Walls on there. Okay. Says Walls to Walls TV. Hey, welcome to the chat, by the way. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Really helps the algorithms in this channel. And also smash that like button too. Hit the bell and share the video if you can. And if you want to support this channel, hit that join button and become a member today. Obviously, we'll be covering Pulsechain for months and months to come. It's one of the big, I say one of the biggest, but I really think it's the biggest thing in crypto in the future for value, price derivatives, price discovery and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty huge indeed. Jessica says thanks. No problem. Newbert, good to see you in there, Jessica, and welcome to the chat. So we've been doing this. This is the third one we've done. So you can check out the other two as well if you want to see the difference in the sacrifice over those 3 videos. Go check that out on this channel. And we've been covering that. We're going to be doing it all the way through the sacrifice phase, 19 days. So you'll see me doing 1 or 2 sacrifice hangout to talk about all the details. Now, you on quite a few of the other channels, you see a lot of chat shows, and you see some price discovery, but we're really all about what's happening with the total sacrifices, what's the latest news, and some of the insights as well. Like I also talked about the God whale has been accumulating. We talked about that in my previous video, so if you want to see that's a major insight. What's the God whale going to be doing? They stopped 30 days ago. They were buying a lot of Hex, and then they stopped for about 27 days, and then the last 3 days they've been buying more Hex, and they've been accumulating that big time. And they've also sitting on a huge bag of US dollars. I think it was about 170 million US dollars, something like that, in the ETH. So what are they going to do? Are they going to come later on and start? Are they going to sacrifice that? Are they going to sell that? I think it's less likely they're going to sell it. I think it's a big chance they could sacrifice it. And what's the origin? And is that the origin wallet, or is it just a big whale, ETH whale, or is the also in addition to that, is the origin wallet going to participate? We know that the 1% of the Pulse goes to the Genesis wallet, but is the origin wallet for ETH Hex going to, which controls about 90% of the liquid supply, is that going to participate, or are they one and the same? So interesting stuff out there. There's a lot of stuff going to be coming up, I'm sure, over the next 17 days as the sacrifice plays out. And there's also not just that, but there's also what are some of the bigger players going to do? Are they going to pump the price later on even when there's the penalty, even when we're in this phase here. Are they going to pump the price somewhere at that stage? So what is the price going to go to for the Hex? And therefore, whoever gets the highest USDC on the time weighted average price, how's that going to play out from the people that got in early, which is actually a good price, right? But if it keeps going up and up and up, the US dollar relativities go up as well. So some interesting game theory there, right? I think it's pretty neat. I saw Richard today said, why is people waiting? Why don't they just get in? But obviously, I think there's some big stuff that could come up there from all sides. So it's going to be interesting stuff. We're going to watch it over the next 17 days. It's going to be fascinating. This is record making stuff, and Richard's obviously always into doing record making stuff. So there we are. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, hey, Ross C's in the house. Hi, guys. Exciting times ahead. Testnet, hopefully next week. Yeah, that's the other side. So really nice one there, Ross, is Testnet coming out next week. That was in Richard's video earlier today. So once again, if you want to go check out Richard's video, go check that out. But yeah, Testnet is at the probably the earliest is next week. Obviously, you know, they're trying to get these servers and stuff like that, and trying to get the infrastructure set up for it. So that's going to be fun too. And then if that all goes well, and then you know we'll be able to move to the fork, the snapshot, obviously the big airdrop, and the Pulsechain mainnet will launch. So that's going on as well. Hey, Player 500X, good to see you again. And well, it's there on an Origin wallet for. So the Origin wallet, the OA is basically when Hex was being auctioned off over 350 days through what they call the transform on the hex.win site. Go.win site, hex.win site. I always forget the name of it, but on that site, there was an Origin wallet that would get 50% of the penalties and referrals and stuff like this. So it ended up getting, you know, like 90%. People say 50%, but actually, if you saw Big Payday, it was more like 90%, and they end up staking up to 98, over 98%. Of the amount, was about 9.7% staked. Most of that's probably private hands. I don't know how many Origin address stakes are in there, but most of that, the inflation goes to those stakers, you know, and you see those people on the YouTube videos and stuff like that. So the Origin wallet has incredible influence over that security of, you know, basically scarcity, and scarcity is one of the key things that you want, and that helped create scarcity. So at the moment, we think there's about 5% liquid or less. And obviously with the sacrifice stress, that's going to go lower and lower and lower. So it's pretty mean. Play at 500 says, like, did you mean an Origin wallet or for Pulsechain? No, it's kind of what we call the Origin address, but it's now split up into many addresses now after Big Payday. So it's very many addresses. It has one hand, it has 90% of the liquid supply for Hex. On the other hand, it also has all the Ethereum that was raised in the transform at the beginning of Hex in the first 350 days. ETH was bid into the auctions every day, and it would get that, and you would expect no works. Just like this, you're not supposed to expect anything under the Howry rule, and therefore no work from others, etc. So it's the same idea, and so that's how that works. So, hey, Rob K's in the house. Hi, what's the relation between Hex and Axion? There's not a lot. They're both certificate of deposits. Not other than that, there's not a lot. Wall to Walls TV. CEO, you're a scammer, Michael, when you refund titanium investors whose money you stole in 2018. Look them up, guys. Yeah, let's keep that out of the chat, please. Wall to wall. You know, you may have a valid point, but let's keep that out. We're just going to talk about Pulse on here. So I'm just going to, you know, have to hide that one, I'm afraid. I appreciate that you're just trying to express something, maybe valid or not, but I really can't. This is just about Pulsechain. So I'm just going to have to remove that comment. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, let's just keep it on Pulsechain, please, and no personal attacks on anybody, even if you may have a valid point. And Player 500 says, okay, gotcha. It's good seeing you too, bud. By the way, hey, most welcome. Hey, Mr. Faraz, good to see you in the chat. Welcome, sir. Welcome to you as well. So pretty awesome stuff. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and like, and you know, hit the bell there for future videos. We're going to be covering this, you know, at least once or twice a day on Pulsechain in particular, and so it's going to be a lot of fun going ahead. Let's quickly check. Of course, let's go back in and check the balances. So let's go back and see how we're going. Honestly, there's a lot being sacrificed at the moment. It really is pretty cool, and we're certainly well over 200 million now. This got this amount plus. Oh, look at that, Ethereum's just gone up pretty big. We were at about 500,000, now we're at 1.5 million. So Ethereum just jumped up. So it's pretty cool. Another million in there. And of course, this is going up and down depending on the price of Hex. And we can see that Hex is just moving around here. Look at that volatility right now. We're watching. Look at that. Boom, boom, up and down, up and down. So a few trades going on there to do that. So are we going to break out past this 18 cents? Because obviously that will affect their value. And so every day we're going to keep adding up. Now it seems that a lot of people are having strategies by holding back the sacrifice and waiting to see where the price of Hex goes in particular. Because as you can see, besides obviously Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin's the other biggest one. I'm not sure how Dodge and other stuff's going, but that's the case at the moment. So you can see that we've got about 29 million US dollars. That's going about just about to go over 30 million, and we've got 13.4 million in DAI and 4.6 million in Tether. There, those are really the big amounts there. So obviously Hex is the easiest to move. The liquidity is relatively small, and so it's easy to move that price up, and that's what we're actually seeing in this chart. So it's going to be interesting. Are we going to find, after 3 attempts, are we going to get a breakout over 18 cents? And then and get into the 20-cent range? We could get into the 20-30 cent range. I think I said it previously that after we broke 10 to 12 cents, then if we broke that quite solidly, and we did up in the 15-cent range, 16 cents, then we could eventually attack up to as high as 25 to 40 cents. Obviously that's based on where we think it might go, but it's not never given, right? So, and obviously nothing I'm saying is investment advice, or you have to do your own due diligence because no one knows the future of prices ultimately. But you can see that if we do get a breakout, it could be quite severe, especially over the next couple of days, because we've got this 5-day period, and we're already starting into day 3 here. So we're about 6 hours into day 3, and we're just climbing into there. So that's going to be interesting here to see what happens to the price. I think it's going to, in my view, it's probably going to keep going up. But then also, what big whales are going to do any activity here? Is the origin address going to do from Hex going to do something? Is the God whale, if they're one and the same, are they going to do something in here? Or is someone else, maybe a big venture capitalist or somebody else that's a consortium of big investors, are they going to do something in here? They'll forgo the 5% penalty each day, maybe in the early part of this ladder, and then push the price up and offset any of that. It's going to be an interesting play, by the way. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. All right, so let's go back to the chat there. I think I've got a couple in here. Mr. Feroz, Pulsechain is going to be super coin. Well, we hope so there, Mr. Feroz. KB's in there, old story, origin worked out good. That's right, so it does. It's actually a key feature of Hex is the origin wallet, and also whatever influence it has in the Pulsechain will also be, typically all its behavior so far has all shown that it supports the value over time. Because ultimately you want to get scarcity. That's the holy grail, getting scarcity and then getting demand pushing up. And the way you also do that is by getting a lot of stakers. They defer their gratification. That's exactly what you've got. So it's going to be interesting times for sure. Player 500X, does a crypto have to be on the Pulse chain in order for Pulse to help the gas fees? Chain in order for the Pulse to help the gas fees. You're going to need some Pulse for gas. You're going to get free airdrop on Pulse of everything that you have on Ethereum. So yeah, if you're going to transact on the Pulse chain, you'd need Pulse to do that. It's going to be super cheap though. It's going to be super cheap. Hex Hound, a God whale buying now. Yeah, I think so. I believe so. I think this is gold whales in there at the moment. And I don't think I've got the address up. Let me pull that up. I have to scroll all the way down and pull that up. I think this is the God whale, so I'm just going to double check be in the market, but yeah, I think the God whale's playing at the moment in here. So let's have a look. Yes, indeed. Looks like that's the case. No, it's the wrong address. Let me pull that up again. Just trying to find that. Just bear with me while I find the old address. Might be this one. Here we go. This is the God whale address. So you can see they're sitting on 89,000 of Ethereum. It's 166 million US dollars, and they've got all this Hex, $31,500 worth, 185 million X sitting in there. Let's see if they've been doing any transactions. They have. So, like I say, they had been doing transactions 30 days ago. They stopped for about, was it 25, 26 days? And here we are, the last couple of days have been doing transactions. And look at now, right now, transactions 48 minutes ago, 25, 30, 20, 23, 15, 12, and here's their big purchases. So it is purchased 2.8, 2.5, 3.6, and another million, just over a million there. So accumulating now up to 185. What are they going to do with that? Interesting times. Big sacrifice to get a big amount of pulse for sure with that bag. So at the moment, 31 million. We'll see how that goes over time. There's only 17 days to go, but nice one there. Good one there. Who was that raised that? So it was Hexhound. Yeah, good one, Hexhound on that one. Vane Oints is in the chat. Do you think Hex can reach 25, 30 cents by the end of the 5 days? Yes, I think that's quite reasonable, Vane. Quite reasonable. Cabo, no free pulse from Hex, just Hex copy. Yeah, so it's no Hex will not be treated any special compared to any other ERC20 copied over. But Ethereum will get one pulse for every Ethereum, but you've got to use it within 30 days. It's about the only freemium there, so that's used for the thing. But like I say, Hex is the golden child because Hex that's sacrifice won't be pretty much put back onto the market. So it's basically reducing that liquidity, making Hex even more pumpalicious over time. Walls to walls, no copy of Axion either. There's two tokens that will not likely be on there. Probably Axion and Wise is the ones we expect, but we'll find out later. What we'll find out once it actually gets officially launched, which tokens don't make the cut. But virtually most tokens were. But once again, we're talking about Pulsechain directly, so that's probably that. Tony Speranda, we're going to jump away from there. Sorry, I'm just stuck on there, so I should move away. And we'll go back to the actual sacrifice, and we'll sit there. Don't forget to subscribe, everybody. Hit that like button, and hit the bell as well for future videos. We're going to do lots of these sacrifice hangouts over the next 17 days. Already done 3 of them, and they're lots of fun for sure. And hopefully I'll give you a lot of insight into stuff around that as well. So also looking really good. We're well over 200 million sacrificed. We've also probably got over 10 million or so sacrificed in the non-Ethereum chain as well. So pretty cool. All right, so what we've got here, we've got Tony Sperano. Do you think there will be a big dump of eHex right after the snapshot, since people will have Hex exposure on Pulse? Maybe they will sell their eHex and diversify those funds. Yeah, we could get a bit of that, but Richard wants high prices on both chains. So there's going to probably be, I think, even if there is a short-term blip on the old eHex, that they will go up in price. But don't forget that the Hex that gets sacrificed, and it's almost at $1 billion now. It's not only 130 billion away. Let's go get accurate numbers. I want to use accurate numbers. Let's go here. Let's use the absolute accurate numbers. We've got 869 million Hex sacrificed so far. So it's not too far. Another 130 million away from 1 billion Hex sacrificed. And we also know that that is equal to 0.137%. That's percentage points out of 100%. That's of total supply. That's how much we've got sacrificed. It's really tracking nicely at the moment. And so yeah, that's going to mean that, like I said, if there's 5% liquid at the moment, that's what people think, and some people think it's even slightly less. Then as this gets higher, if this becomes 1 or 2% sacrificed over the 19 days, that's going to move it down to say 3% or 4%, depending on what exactly is at the end result. You can see that's a squeeze on the ETH chain. There's less Hex, and therefore over on the Pulse copy, there will be less Pulse Hex on there too. And don't forget, that liquidity pretty much in wallets and in Uniswap. And we can also see that the Uniswap pools are actually dropping in Hex because the Hex is being bought up. And this is going down. This is only 44 million now in the V2. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And we also know that the Hexicans, the staked amount, is these people are pretty committed to a staking ladder, and there's a lot of, was it 5.7 years average stake length? So it's pretty long. And so even though people will be selling some of that Hex, comes out because most of the inflation, all inflation, sorry, the 3.69% approximately, that all goes to the stakers, right? Which is what gives them their 38-40% APY. So they're the only ones that have got new Hex coming out there. Obviously, they have stakes come out, and we do see people do sell down their stakes, especially if they're Hex OGs that aren't as committed as the rest of the Hex OGs that fully committed to more longer term staking, then that's the case. So yeah, sure, I could see a small blip in the Hex, but then I think it's going to rise up too as well. And I think that Pulse Hex, maybe the question is, will Pulse Hex be worth a bit more? And it possibly will be a bit worth price up from zero. Remember, all the Pulse coins priced from zero, including Pulse. But will it be worth a bit more than EHEX? I think it's a good chance it will be, because obviously the main reason for that is that the S-load function on ETH is expensive now, and of course it's going to be super cheap to do staking and unstaking and stuff like that on the Pulse chain. So that kind of makes that differential more more valuable in that sense. And obviously Pulse chain will become some sort of de facto Hex thing, but it's really open up to all the projects, right? There's going to be all the copies of all the ERC20s over there, so all the projects can get on there, and also new projects can do DeFi, and new projects can launch on there too. And obviously it's going to be super cheap, super fast. So you got all those sort of utility aspects which are going to underpin that as well in the bigger picture. So yeah, I think I've kind of answered that from my point of view. Ross C, do you think there will be a big marketing push for PLS once sacrifice phase is over? Obviously, the price to appreciate, we would need buying from exchanges from new people. Yeah, I think so. I think so for sure. I think that Richard's got quite a few things up his sleeve. He said about the Pulse chain and its rise. So I think that he's got a lot of things coming for that. He's thinks about that. He is a marketer, and by that's how he got to retire at 23, and that he's super bright and back in the early days. And obviously he's got a knack for this. This is his speciality. This is the thing he's got a sixth sense for. Yeah, I definitely think he's already mentioned that he's got lots of things up his sleeve. He's got some secret sauce, and he's got stuff for also with the Pulse chain. So definitely think he has got things around that to play out. And Hexhound says he is. Just trying to think back what the Hexhound is referring to. Yeah, Godwell, he is. Yeah, I think if you're referring to the Godwell buying, for sure. And Player 500, oh, lol, I see how it works. I thought Richard Hart was saying Pulse would fix ETH fees, but he really means he's replacing ETH fees with Pulse fees by copying everything first. Yeah, so the way he kind of sees it is that the Pulse chain is obviously going to be faster and all the rest of it. Obviously, it's got to go through the public test net and all that, but that it will actually complement the Ethereum network, which is overblown, right? It's only ETH.1. It's going through the upgrade to ETH.20, and it's done the staking in December, and then it's got to do all the sharding. It's got a small developer team really, which has got probably struggling a little bit, and then it's got to do the docking of ETH.1 with ETH 2.0. There's a lot of work to be there. And based on Vitalik's last comment, it looks like that could be quite extended out to the future. And Matic provides a certain amount of ability at the second layer with side chains and stuff to take a lot of the congestion out. But we still see Gwei, quite high and slow transactions as well. And so it does. And obviously the S-load function for anything that's doing looping and stuff is expensive. And so there's lots of basic utility value built in Pulse chain. But obviously people have got to use it. But Richard's got lots of ideas around that, of course. And obviously the sacrifice is certainly raising the profile of Pulse chain too, as you see the growth of Telegram and just lots of different networks. And Richard said that founders have also contacted them and indicated they're going to be going to sacrifice of other tokens, established tokens. So there's lots of stuff playing out, and so we're going to see in the sacrifice, how much capital gets raised as well, because obviously it's like any capital raise, like a company. How do you end up valuing that as well? So it's going to be interesting stuff. Ken Hopestead says Hex 25 to 30 cents. I'm going all in, says Ken. Yeah, nice one there, Ken. So it's definitely looking pretty good. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of volatility around there. This is a bit of a fight here. Watch out for this. Obviously, the Godwell is in at the moment, doing some buys. That was this green candle. Is probably related to that. So interesting stuff. And here's the address here. I think that was the address, wasn't it? Yes, that's the address. I'll just post that in here if you want to check out the gold whale. You might want to save it to your favorites if you want to gold whale. And yeah, so you might want to save that to your favorites, and you can check that out. Right, so that's in there. Very nice. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Hit the bell, of course. We are trying to make a big effort to grow this channel, and we're going to be covering Pulse Chain in particular on separate shows. So I do a number of different shows on different topics. We're doing a lot of DeFi as well, only on the golden standard, what I call the golden standard, the stuff that really is clever. Clever mix of mathematics, blockchain, of business ecosystems, and of ultimately good APY. and those are the ones that I like, the ones that are changing the game. And so that's a very select few. So you'll be seeing me covering those over the next few weeks and months ahead as well. So pretty cool. All right, so that's where we're at. Let's go back to the Pulse chain here, just checking how I'm going here. So with time, let's refresh this, and boom, 870 million.7. We're really climbing up, boy. It's going to get hit to a billion. That's going to be a huge milestone. Imagine that, a billion hex off the market. That's pretty awesome stuff. And we're up to 151.6 million US dollars, 81,273 ETH equivalent. Pretty outstanding. Let's quickly go to back to the other type, see if we get a bit more ETH in there. Yeah, so no, ETH's pretty similar, but 1.1 million. And how's US coins going? Those are all pretty similar, the stable coins. So looking good too. Now, obviously, there's Bitcoin and Aave and other stuff. So actually, I think Aave's in here. But let me, yeah, Aave's tokens down here. But there's like Bitcoin. Now, BSC is open, so you can sacrifice Binance coin, BUSD, USDC, all on Binance Smart Chain, all that sort of stuff. And also a Polygon Matic is also available as well now, as we saw in here. You've got all these different blockchains now. So these are the two new ones, Polygon Matic and Binance Smart Chain. So you got the address there. Obviously, you just have to change your network on your, say if you use a MetaMask, well, you got to use a MetaMask, you change that. And also always remember to read all the fine details. You got the official social networks here. Those are the ones that you can get the official announcements from. Obviously, scammers are out there, so be careful out there. Be very careful if you're going to sacrifice. It's optional. Remember, the first phase is sacrifice. It's optional, but that's where all the pulse, where you're going to get all the pulse coins. The second phase, pretty much when mainnet goes live, there's going to be a copy of the Ethereum, all Ethereum tokens, and then you're going to get a free copy on Pulse. Free copy, biggest airdrop in history. But they start at the value of 0, every token, including Pulse coin, and they get bid up on the market. There's going to be a Pulse Uniswap version there, and then there'll probably be some bridges between Ethereum chain, be some bridges over the top. So if you're familiar with bridges, that's what you'll end up having as well. So it's going to be a pretty vibrant ecosystem, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some new DeFi as well coming on there as well. I think there's lots of potential, and so it's going to be fun times to watch, right? We also know that other Ethereum chains are worth several $1 billion as well, so they don't have a state system copy like Hex is going to be, like Pulsechain is going to be doing. So it's going to be a pretty interesting space. There's a lot of new territory, and of course Richard Hart is famous for this stuff. It's going to be fun to watch for sure, and that's why we're covering it, because it's fun to watch. So pretty neat. All right, so that's it there. Make sure that this is pulsechain.com. You can find the links in the video description. Always double check any links that you're given, including from this channel. And this is the DApp, of course. So if you go to Pulsechain, you can go to open the DApp. There's also the Telegram and Twitter, and you can go there, and also you can find the social links here. Those are official ones, and you can just get your address issued. Obviously for Ethereum, you click that one, it's OX9C, and 62CB is the address, and you can sacrifice all these different tokens down here. All these ones can be sacrificed. Now, you don't sacrifice to any of these addresses. These are just the view. You just view the addresses there, but don't sacrifice to any of those. Okay, it says do not send here. The only address that you send to is the one address, this address here. You just copy that, and then you go to your MetaMask and you send your tokens to that address, and it will register it with using your address from your MetaMask. And you can see the addresses here, OX9C. You can see that OX9C, 62CB is the one that we've been looking at, 62CB with all the sacrifices in it. Oh, look at that, 199. Wow, 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 wow. So 199, that's a big jump. So that's pretty impressive there. So looking good. Just trying to see what made that jump up there. So it's almost 200 million in there alone. Obviously, we've got 1.5 million there, and we've also got all the Bitcoin, all the rest of the stuff on top of that. And so let's quickly go to Richard Hart's Twitter, and we'll refresh this and see if we've got any updates from Richard Hart himself. So pretty cool. Now, let's have a scroll down here. I'm not sure what we've got on this one here. Scrolling back down here. So the biggest Ethereum US dollar, I think this is the latest one. Yeah, so the latest one here, the biggest Ethereum USDC cent that we've seen so far was 10 million. The biggest Bitcoin cent was 704,000. That was 4 hours ago. So that's interesting. and this is just the USDC address, so that's so you can look at. What else? We've got the video there. Matic, Polygon, and BSC networks are now added, which I've shown you that already on the DApp. You can see that on the DApp, which once again, this BSC and the Polygon have been added. And that's what that's referring to. And that's that one there. So you can actually now sacrifice BNB, BUSD, USDC, USDT, and BTC, ETH, DAI, and all on the BSC networks are pretty cool. Polygon, and so Matic, Polygon, Binance are just promoting the addition of those coins into the sacrifice that went originally on there. So pretty cool. Everyone please tag Crypto Rich. It's time to get them to save their own lives. So that's pretty hilarious. But just talking about the SENS Foundation, a lot of people over 20 million sacrificed to the SENS Foundation as part of the sacrifice. It's pretty cool. Once again, you have to email the SENS Foundation before you do sacrifice. Hex can spread the word about SENS.org, the Pulsechain sacrifice phase best rates, and in about 3 days, 22 million raised for medical research by Bitcoin and Ethereum users so far. So pretty nice stuff there being promoted. And Richard Hart, this from this poster, Richard Hart. Thank you from the guy who even bought his 3 sons each a Tesla. This is, I think, an early Hexkin, by the way, fully loaded. They were 75,000 each. Feeling grateful and more productive than the guy who bought the Lambo. Haha. So he bought us out of his Hex wealth. He bought his sons some Teslas. Pretty epic. So just showing some of the success stories there. That's pretty much it from Richard at this stage. But once again, he did a video a couple hours ago on with a big update. So it's got little insights in there, little pearls. So you can also go and check that out. Pretty cool. All right, we've got Player 500 in. So that's it. I just copy the address and say ETH to it, and I'm all set. That's correct. Do it from your MetaMask wallet, Player 500, and that's how you do. Pretty awesome. Hexhound, you're doing an excellent job covering it. Hey, thanks Hexhound, much appreciated. I am a Hex OG, so I have been following Richard Hart for a number of years, and I won't say how long because it's embarrassing, but pretty awesome. Hey, Gertz, Superman is a diamond hands. Is that diamond hands? Not sure what those are. What are those diamonds? I'm not sure, but yeah, Gertz is diamonds. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, not diamond in the rough, but diamonds. I like that. Thanks, Gertz. Appreciate that. All right, so pretty awesome stuff, folks. That's a pretty good coverage. I think how we're going, 47 minutes. We're going to keep going for an hour, so we've got another 30 minutes to go. Let's go for gold. I'm gonna have a little drink though. Cheers, everybody. Sacrifice phase is fun. I love these things. Everyone that knows me knows I love the stuff like this. So pretty cool. All right, so we've got the Pulse lead as well. Now I've got the links to these in the video description. I'm pretty sure I've got Pulse lead on there too, actually. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Can't remember actually what I put on the description now, but definitely got most of the official ones there. Once again, always double check, even from me, the links before you do anything. But this is the most interesting one to me, this percentage sacrificed. I'm not sure how many people are looking at that, but I find that number there pretty interesting. I'm just going to update this manually, even though it auto updates, it has an API update. So that's going to be 0.139. And watch this. It's going to be interesting to see. You can see, hover over it. And I actually think, yeah, eventually that's going to show up green on there. It's going to be big enough that it's going to show up. I'm not sure whether that's 1 billion is going to be enough or whether 1%. That's going to be looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to this. How does these pools go down from where they are, 44, 45 million in V2? Obviously, that would reflect the price going up, but it's always interesting to see the amount of volume in there. I find that fascinating. And you can see the T-shares now for Hex, well over 3,000 lately at this price level. Which is just mind-boggling. If you recall, that used to be 60 cents on about the 4th or 5th of January 2020. That was the low, 60 cents, folks. And now, just to get a T-share, it's over 3,000. It's also flipped Ethereum's price as well, more expensive than Ethereum by a long shot, and that was only 2 days ago. So it's just makes you wonder. The next target is Bitcoin. It would be about 32,000. It's going to interesting. That would be 10x from here. So let's see what happens over time. It's going to be pretty fascinating with that on that side. It's not really to do with Pulsechain, but it's just interesting to see how value changes so fast. So that's pretty fun there. All right, so pretty cool on that. We've gone through a lot of these. This is the biggest sacrifices so far, 11 million US dollars. And that was probably the one that Richard was referring to with the $10 million one. That's the total amount there. So they're going to get pretty big bags of Pulse with that. They'll probably get the 2.5 factor, but will they be the biggest by the time we finish the 19-day phase? It's going to be interesting to see. Like I say, we've got 8 people that have sacrificed over $1 million, but will that, by the time we finish this, the full 19 days, will there be 100 people? How many people? 60 people with that sort of those sort of bags. Obviously, we've got a few people that are pretty close, but that's interesting. Don't forget, also, you can top up. You can top up your amount. So if you sacrifice now, you can actually top up in a couple of days. So some people are using that strategy. They might be going, say, over the first 5 days, they may be doing different stuff there. So over these first 5 days, they may be doing like 20% a day, and they're getting their average price. If they're using, like the TWAP, every half an hour the price gets stamped on your amount. So they might be doing day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. So if they're going to sacrifice 100%, that's the way they might do it. Richard, of course, has talked about doing 2/3, 1/3. So sacrificing 2/3, say, of your hex, keeping 1/3. And obviously, if you keep 1/3, you're going to get a copy over on the Pulsechain, and then you'll actually be able to buy and sell on the Pulsechain when the prices get price discovery. So there's lots of people's different strategies. There's so much gamification that you just don't know. The sum of everybody's actions will determine the outcomes for everything. So it's going to be interesting stuff. Also, once the copies get copied over onto Pulsechain, when we get to the Pulsechain phase, not to do with the sacrifice, it's going to be interesting to see how each token gets priced up. And how much percentage will it be compared to the ETH version? Will some be at parity, or will some be even higher than the ETH chain? It's going to be fun times, and that is the gold rush, as it were, and obviously the biggest airdrop in history. And it's kind of a little bit of an experiment in a sense. It hasn't been done before, and so it's going to be pretty interesting. Also, it's going to be interesting to see about exchanges, how they list tokens. P Unicoin, for example, or P Hex. How they list those. So it's got a lot of stuff going on there. It's going to be pretty interesting. And it's also going to be interesting to see who gets invested, how much of the big rest of the industry gets invested. Obviously, people have seen how successful Hex has been, and so it's going to be interesting to see who gets brought to the party, as it were. And over time, it becomes a bit like a behemoth. How can you ignore it? How can you ignore it? It's so big. And it's different from Hex, right? Hex is a stiffer deposit, and Pulsechain is a copy of Ethereum. It's a blockchain. And so it's got its own momentum and audience. And the other side of it is you need a big audience, right? So, and Hex already has that, and now Pulsechain has even a bigger one. So it's bringing a lot of projects into there. And if it offers a pretty low cost, fast network, then people will respond in kind, right? That's why a lot of people are going into Sacrifice to get a lot of that Pulse coin. So lots of stuff there. Once again, none of what I'm saying is investment advice. You've got to do your own due diligence. It really is up to you. This is just for information entertainment purposes, of course. So I'm not recommending any of you go into it. I have not said that at all. So it's up to you. Now, the sacrifice phase is optional. The Pulsechain is just a free airdrop. So if you can do nothing, you can take the strategy, I'm going to do nothing, and you'll just get the airdrop of the coin. So if you've got coins on Ethereum, they'll just get copied over for the most projects over onto the Pulsechain. And then they'll start at 0, and then the market will decide what they're worth after that. So pretty cool. Hopefully that helps there. Let's quickly go back to the chat. We've got Player 500. Your excitement is contagious. My girlfriend doesn't get it though. Hilarious. Nice one there, Player 500. So pretty cool on that. Hey, we're going pretty good, 53 minutes. So we'll keep going for another 7 minutes. I'm going to do some refreshes on here, and we'll see how we get. I'm waiting to get over 200 million in here. That would be really cool. Let's do the refresh, and boom, how we? Yes, yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. 201,555,000 sitting in the tokens. There's the ERC20 tokens. And we also have a jump in the ETH there, 2.6 million. So that's phenomenal. So really going up there, folks. Nice one. Nice work. Let's go over to the Hex, see how much that's in that. And boom, we have really good results here. 880 million Hex. We're 120 million Hex away from 1 billion. That's awesome stuff. I do love this stuff. So 120 million away from 1 billion Hex. I imagine we're going to hit that in a couple of hours, right? Maybe 3 hours time, maybe even quicker. Probably 2-3 hours, we might hit 1 billion, and that would be pretty mind-blowing. And then, of course, this percentage here is going to go up. If that gets to 1%, that's 1% that sacrifice is going to be off the market, makes Hex look less scarce. So if there is only 5%, it goes down to 4%. That's just less scarce there. Really does help. And obviously, if the demand's going up, that's huge. And we do know that that the number of wallets has been jumping about 1,500 a day last couple of days. So it's been huge. We're well over 300,000 wallets now, and I think there's 40,000 stakers on Staker app. So it really is going pretty big, folks. So some big numbers there. Chris Day's in the house. Yo, 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 yo. Good to see Chris Day, one of the old channel regulars. So good to see you, Chris Day, in the house. Always Jizzamax in the house. A few rockets. So I love the rockets, love the excitement. So nice one there to Jizzy Mac for sure. So it's going really well. I think it's going pretty well myself. I'm just waiting for the sacrifice to show up on this wheel. It may be tomorrow, maybe the next day, but it's going to show up there eventually. That's going to be pretty awesome. Now this is our app Hex .win chart. So I'll post this in the channel, in the chat there, if you want to go check that out yourself and keep that percentage, maybe save it to your favorites, and you can watch that percentage go up over time. So app Hex wins.charts is that site there. So I think you guys have got Pulsechain. This is all these links are in the video description, and you can obviously get to this by just using the sacrifice, just posting into EtherChain. And our Pulse lead Hex dots there as well, so you can check that as well. And boom, so you can check that one too. I think that's about it on there. That one there, and obviously Richard Hart you can get access to. Nomics.com you got access to. Pretty cool. And obviously Dex Tools, you can find Hex on there. A bit of selling into the price, which I expected to see a bit of selling when we got up here. It's either going to have another green candle or get sold into. That's what's happened. It's got sold into there. So we'll watch that. It's going to be a bit of a battle, but maybe over the next 8 hours, it might eventually punch through that 20 cents. We'll see. We'll see how they go with that. Once again, no one really knows the future. We're just basing it on attacking that 18-cent mark there all the time. Here's the God whale as well. Let's see whether they've made any transactions the last few seconds. Let's have a look. Going to refresh this, the God whale, and 39 minutes ago. So they've stopped buying at the moment, but they may keep buying. There's a bit of a gap now though. So it looks like they've bought. They've 1, 2, 3. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So watch this God whale at different times. It's likely to buy and picking up lots of bags there. And I'm gathering that this is going to be sacrificed in my view. Just when is the key? When is that going to get sacrificed? That's my guess. That's my guess. Not, I don't know. I don't believe it's going to sell down because that would be a bit counterintuitive. So we'll see how it goes. Though it might do. Who knows? But we'll see it. We'll watch out. May just hold it. May just hold it liquid. Who knows? May just get a copy on Pulsechain. Have 2 copies. We'll see. We'll see what it does. All right. Let's go quickly to check here. So what else we got here? We got X Player 500. Do I have to use MetaMask or can I try another sacrifice? I use MetaMask Pulse 500. Use MetaMask, please. And $10 Super Stick A Player 500X. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that support. It's always fun as a YouTuber to get super stickers. So big shout out to you, Player 500. And that's us watching this event. Yeah, nice one. I appreciate that. All right, so very cool. That's how we're going. We're just about, we've got 2 minutes to go. 1 hour is the live stream. And you're going to catch me tomorrow. I'll be back on tomorrow for the 4th session, Sacrifice Hangout. And so keep up with that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Hit that like button, hit the bell. And if you want to support this channel, of course, check the join button. There's 4 different categories: Axionites, Elites, Heroes, and Krakens. So if you want to join up and support this channel, we're going to have a lot of exciting DeFi, gold standard DeFi on this channel. Obviously, our flagship is Axion Token, but the rest of it, you're going to see DeFi on all the top projects. Only the stuff that really makes good APY with good management. None of that rubbishy stuff out there. There's tons of it. And so we're going to stick to the good stuff on this channel for sure. And obviously, Pulsechain is probably the biggest event coming up in the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. It's truly going to be quite epic. I think anything that Richard Hart touches his hands on in the business world, crypto particularly, has that golden touch. So pretty neat on that. He is the innovator in the space. So pretty nice. All right, so let's quickly do another refresh before we wrap up, and let's go into the chat there. Player X says, see you next time. Peace. Hey, Player 500. See you next time, and much appreciated for that super sticker for sure. And a big shout out to you. All right, so nice one in there. So we're sitting at 890. So by the time we wake up in the morning, so it's pretty evening here. So by the time we wake up in the morning, I expect that to be over 1 billion. So it should be over quite nicely. Maybe let me guess. I'm going to guess. Let me say it's going to be about 1.1. How about that? That's some good stuff there. And see how we go. If that is the case, of course, the Hex price would probably be even higher. And let's see if I wake up tomorrow and the Hex price is over 20 cents. That'd be pretty interesting too. But obviously, I don't know the future. Just going off what I see in the information here. Obviously, if someone decides to sell down lots of stuff, they can change things pretty fast. But awesome stuff there. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's been 1 hour, folks, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. Take care. Enjoy yourself, of course, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And a special shout out to everybody in the chat there. Really appreciate all those comments and some really great questions. And have a good time. We'll see you tomorrow. And sacrifice. Nice. All right.